the metaverse is not dead. As much as I kind of hate to say it, Apple might be the one that brings it back. Today we're going to take a look at some of the top metaverses out there and rank them in a tier list from best to worst.
Secret agent stash.
I want you to join the GIA. As a member, you'll unlock exclusive content on my YouTube channel, early access to new games, monthly in-game supply drops, and gameplay ops with me and the rest of the agents.
Okay, so here are over 20 of the top metaverses out there. You may know some of these and you may not. Some of them may involve crypto and a bunch of them don't. But all these are going to get ranked today from S tier, being the best, down to wrecked, completely unrecoverable and never going to make it. So let's just dive into this and get going. First up here is one called Blocktopia. That's this one right here. This is an NFT and crypto enabled metaverse that started off pretty good, but the problem here is that, they had a bunch of sponsors and people who were on board here, and they just didn't pan out. The concept was actually decent. It was a skyscraper, a giant 21-story tower where you could buy land and do commerce, but nothing has really come to fruition here. And we saw big sponsors of people like BitBoy, Crypto, Polygon, other people that were involved, Engine, Algorand, a bunch of others, and it just hasn't panned out. And it's been quite some time right now. We don't even have a playable demo. I'm going D, not my faves. All right, next up we have Boss Planet. Now, Boss Planet is actually the metaverse project from an NFT PFP collection called the Boss Cats. They're actually one of my favorites. And as much as I love the collection and what they're doing there, they have built this metaverse, and we don't have it playable yet, but it is a voxel-based metaverse. It is not VR enabled. It is a voxel-based metaverse, very similar to another one of this list we'll talk about later called the Sandbox. This is more of a metaverse that is kind of created for people who hold these NFT PFPs. I don't think it's really meant to really hit mainstream. I like what they're doing here. With the voxel, look in the world here, but they don't have a lot more else going for them except for a very good dedicated small community. I will put them here in the C tier. Boss Planet going C. I think that there is something there eventually, but it will be more of a niche type of, experience in metaverse. Okay, up next is Cornucopias. This right here is also a crypto-based metaverse that is being built on the Cardano platform and is probably one of the best projects on Cardano at the moment. Now, they've actually done a pretty good job of building out this metaverse. They're getting great games for it. They have a very clear vision. They have some very unique aspects of this game, including, everyone being able to get some kind of free land to build on and, to be able to create your own world here. And the way they've kind of gone about this is slightly different than some of the other ones, and it's actually high quality, and they have a great dedicated community here. I do think in comparison to a lot of the other metaverses here, Cornucopias actually has a pretty good job of being a good, fun social game. They don't have, a large playable demo at this point where there's, thousands of people playing, but I do think they have potential. I'm going to put them in the B category here today because I do think that out of all the metaverses here, even though this one's not VR enabled, it could be a lot of fun. And a lot of people think VR is what defines the metaverse, but that's not necessarily true. A lot of the metaverses here on our list today are VR enabled and probably will be ones that you could use and play with that brand new Apple VR headset. Right? It's coming soon. We know this. The Apple VR headset is dropping very soon, and this may change how a lot of people view these metaverses here. All right. So up next, we're going with voxels, crypto voxels. Now, this is kind of a funny, weird metaverse that popped up quite some time ago. I will consider it to be one of the OG crypto metaverses. But the interesting thing about crypto voxels is that it was very much adopted by the art community, right? When you see a community adopt something like this, it can get weird, right? And that's kind of the cool thing about crypto voxels is it's kind of this weird metaverse. It is very playable. And they do have some VR elements that you can jump in. It is very art focused, so it's kind of funky, it's kind of weird, it's kind of different. There are not a lot of rules and regulations here. I still don't think that we see crypto voxels lasting very long against any of these competitors. I do feel like at this point, it probably is going to be in the wrecked category. And like I said, as much as I like to see something a little bit different here, there is too much competition on the crypto side of things when it comes to Metaverse. And Crypto Voxels just has not innovated. They're a very small team, one-man team, and they just haven't been able to really push that boundary. And I don't think they're really going to come back here. So that's where I stand with that. Now, up next here on my list is Decentraland. This is actually one of the most popular crypto-based or NFT-based metaverses out there. They're one of the originals, as a matter of fact, that were the first metaverse that was using NFTs. This is undisputed fact. Now, Decentraland has come a long way. They actually have a very playable platform. There are a lot of people building there. There are a lot of games and cool experiences that you can go in. They just suck at advertising. They suck at advertising and getting people into the game. But I really do think that Decentraland has a good shot of being something that has a good mass adoption. It already has a pretty good adoption in crypto. I think it can get beyond that. Right? We're not just talking about crypto metaverses today, too. Just happens to be that the first couple up here were crypto based, but we're going to jump into a couple here that are actually not here in just a second. So, okay, up next on my list is Everdome. And the interesting thing here is, this is a metaverse that is trying to be the most realistic, right? So the most high definition, photorealistic metaverse you could possibly be. I actually kind of appreciate that. Now, whether or not that means that they're going to survive in the long term, because that's the only hook they really have here. They're doing a good job of it at this point, but I don't know that they have the legs to really take this the distance. We have seen some updates here. They have been, fairly regular on, updating, getting things going. But like I said, I just don't see them really going the distance here. This is, and in particular when it comes to running something like this with hundreds or thousands or millions even of players, having something photorealistic is going to be super intensive. I don't see it working here in the long term. They do have something, so I'm still going to stick them here at the C tier because I think that there could be some potential in the long run if they stick with it and they can keep the financing there. Okay, up next is a big one. This is a big one. Fortnite. Now, some people may argue, wait, Stash, what? Don't pop your collar, Stash. Fortnite is not a metaverse. Well, I would beg to differ, sir. I would beg to differ. Fortnite actually has all the makings of a metaverse, and it actually has millions of players. This definitely puts it in top tier for me. And when you really look at what makes a metaverse, A, you got to have a lot of people, right? They got to be people from all over. And then B, it's got to be a lot of interoperability. When I say interoperability, what I'm talking about is being able to do a bunch of different things, mashing things up in an effective way that gives people some creative experiences that they would not have had otherwise. Fortnite has done this expertly. They've done massive concerts with people like Marshmello and others in huge numbers in attendance. They have done great collaborations, in particular here just recently with Star Wars, where they had all these great characters of Star Wars in the game. They've had tons of other cameos and playable characters, The Witcher, and a million other. Those are just two of my faves, right? But Fortnite really does kind of resemble the next stage of a metaverse. And now with the Unreal Engine Fortnite editor, right? The Unreal Engine Fortnite editor, the creative mode, you can do all kinds of things with Fortnite, and you're actually building out a metaverse similar to what we've seen with companies like Roblox, where you can build your own games. For that reason, and for everything that Fortnite brings to the table, they have one of the best shots of really evolving into the number one metaverse that resembles something like an Oasis. I'm going S tier with Fortnite. Have to. Okay, another one up here is a little bit lesser known project, but is backed by some pretty big companies in crypto and out of crypto, and it's High Street. High Street is another metaverse that, has some things going for it, but it just doesn't have that unique hook. There's nothing about High Street that ever got me, very engaged. They don't really have much going on as far as game-wise. and they're a little bit behind, in my opinion, when it comes to some of these things in development. You know, the thing is with these metaverses these days, with Unreal Engine 5 or even Unreal Engine 4 at this point, you can make some kind of, you know, generic worlds where people can just kind of run around in, and there's not a lot of unique functionality pretty quickly and easily. And many of these metaverses we're seeing today kind of resemble that to me. So I'm going to go D with High Street. I think because they do have some big backers and some big money, they could pull something off here, but they need to pivot in some sort of way that is going to make them a little bit more interesting. A little bit more interesting. Now, I get the fact that it's all about commerce, which is cool. It's a commerce-centered focus, but I don't think we're there yet. We're just, you know, we're not there yet. But maybe this Apple headset might take us in that direction. Who knows? That could be a thing. People put on the Apple headset. They want to go shop in VR. They're going to High Street. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it. How about you guys? I don't know. I don't know if you guys see that. I mean, it's to me, it seems less likely. So moving on here. This next one up here is called Immersus. This is a metaverse that was built in a crypto blockchain called Wax. And they had something going here for a second. We actually played it on the channel and messed around with it. So they actually, you could get in there. They had some good interoperability. So that means other projects could bring their, you know, assets into this game and play with it. And so there were some interesting things. But they have fallen by the wayside and they are completely wrecked. Wrecked as wrecked could be. Moving on. All right, next on our list here. One of the big ones. The billion-dollar ones. That's Meta. Meta's Horizon Worlds, right? Facebook Meta made the big jump. We saw this, you know, a couple years ago when they changed their name in 2021, I believe it was, and it totally exploded things. You know, everyone was going crazy for this. But since then, they haven't really done much. We've actually seen Facebook Meta's Horizon Worlds seem to reduce the number of monthly active users, sitting now around 200 to 300,000. Where at one point they actually had a few more than that, and I don't see it really picking up steam at this point. But the funny thing is that even as bad as the reviews have been for Facebook Meta's Horizon Worlds, and how much I do not like Zuckerberg and Facebook in general, the fact of the matter is that they still have 200,000 people in their metaverse. That's a lot more than almost every one of these games or metaverses out here. So for that, I am going to put them in the A category. They at least deserve it. They are pushing it. They are putting a lot of money in that forefront. Will it make them successful? I don't know. Once again, there's not a big unique selling point here. Oh, you can go in there, you can do all these experiences, but you can do that in tons of different places. Why would I go to Facebook Meta when I could go do almost the exact same things in Fortnite and everybody's there, all my friends are already there. All right, so next up here is Network. This is a metaverse we've covered on the channel previously, and you know, they kind of started out pretty strong, but I feel like they've definitely wavered here. You know, this is one of those ones where they were very focused on the token and on selling things of that nature, and you know, they had some, you know, some partners that were good, in particular among them Coolio, R.I.P. Pour one out for Coolio. Pour one out for Coolio, man. He just didn't make it to see Network come to life. And I don't know that he ever actually will. So even though they've had some progress here and there, we haven't seen much from Network. I'm going to actually put them in the D category. You know, they do still have some funding. There is still a chance they could come back. They're not completely wrecked, but I don't see them going anywhere anytime soon. Without Coolio, what are they going to do, guys? Okay, so next on our list is Topia. Topia is an interesting story here. Now, this was a metaverse that was originally using Minecraft, and they were selling NFT lands in their Minecraft server and NFTs enabled for their land, and they got a cease and desist, and, you know, Mojang, essentially, you know, the parent company of Minecraft here, they said, no NFTs, no crypto in our stuff, and so they kicked everybody out, and, you know, this was one of those projects, and they have now since rebranded, and they are a voxel-based metaverse. It looks very much like a Minecraft. You know, these things are not the hardest thing to spin up. They're still in the process of, you know, getting this revamped. I don't know that they're going to be able to make a comeback. They have money, they have obligations to investors, but in my opinion, they're wrecked. The fact that, you know, Mojang, Minecraft said, hey, no, you can't do this. That was the whole premise. That was the cool thing behind their project, is they were piggybacking off Minecraft. and enabling some cool metaverse features using crypto and NFTs, but it just didn't work out. They didn't get permission, and they kind of deserve what they got. Okay, next up on the list, maybe you've heard about this one, maybe you haven't, but if you haven't, perhaps you've heard of the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Now, if you've heard of the Bored Ape Yacht Club, then maybe you know Otherside as their metaverse project. So the Bored Ape Yacht Club started off as a NFT PFP project, right? A profile pic. And that was pretty much all it was. It had a lot of hype. They've gone to a lot of high value, for these NFTs, but not much else. Now, what they have done recently here in the last, year or so is pivot into creating their own social metaverse called Otherside. They've actually done a couple of big tests for this metaverse, and they have, there's some good potential there. They're using some really cool M-squared technology from a company called Improbable, and this allows you to have thousands and thousands of concurrent players all in the same map. I mean, we're talking 5,000, 10,000 people all at the same time, all in the same area, not sharded. And so that's a pretty cool thing when it comes to metaverse technology. I will say that, I do think there is a good potential for Otherside to be a very defining element of the creation of metaverse in general. For that, I got to put them right there at A tier. I have to put them at A tier. I'm not the biggest Bored Ape Yacht Club fan. I like what they're doing with Otherside. I do have land there. But I do think that with their name recognition, their brand recognition, the direction they're going, they have really stepped up their game here. And they could be a big competitor for some of these other major metaverse platforms like Facebook Horizons and a couple other ones we have coming up on this list here too. All right. Now, a lot of these metaverses we've talked about are either VR enabled or they're not. The next one up here is called OVR. And it is actually a AR-focused metaverse, which is so unique and different than anything we've seen on this list that sometimes it's kind of hard to understand how it fits in the whole picture. But what they're doing here at OVR is they're creating an AR metaverse where they have an app where you can go in and you can kind of map physical locations with their technology, which then puts it into their AR metaverse, which allows you to make things in AR and create an AR through this kind of metaverse platform and do a whole other host of things. They have a lot of other cool features like being able to put treasure chests in your VR or AR experience. And I really do think that what OVR is doing right now is going to be something that is going to push the boundaries for metaverses, because I do think augmented reality in combination with virtual reality is going to be the future. A lot of these projects are just not thinking about AR in the right way, but OVR definitely is. We've done a couple reviews on this project, and for that good reason, because what they're doing is so unique, so different than everything else on this list. I definitely have to put them A tier. Now, they may not be the metaverse, right? What we think about as the Oasis versus Meta, but I think that they actually will be a company that gets kind of bought up by one of these bigger metaverses, and they incorporate that technology to make their metaverse better. I really do think that's going to be the case. That's where I see OVR, becoming a very dominant AR platform. Okay, all right. Next up is a metaverse project that is on Solana. This is a cryptocurrency-based project on the Solana blockchain called Portals. Now, if you follow cryptocurrency at all, maybe you saw that Solana got wrapped up in this whole FTX scandal. If you haven't seen anything about that, I'd be surprised. But their metaverse, Portals metaverse, is actually kind of cool. They did a very good job with the look of their metaverse, the customization features, being able to build out your own space, but then also being able to build out social experiences. They brought on some pretty decent partners as well. And the look of their metaverse has this really nice polished look that kind of reminds me a little bit about, some of these fun island builder games like, Horizon World, something like that. It has that kind of fun, fuzzy look to it, but nicer, right? So nicer than Horizon Worlds, in my opinion, but, still that playful look. They've done a pretty good job of promoting this. I do think there is some potential there. They are on Solana, so that kind of makes me want to drop them down. I want to go B tier with them, but I think Portals is going C. Just the fact that they're still on Solana, I'm apprehensive of the future of that chain because of FTX pulling out and all that money that was there. They just don't have the same support and velocity they used to. And so even though Portals has all those things, I do think that there is a chance that they don't move chains, they could end up going by the wayside. Next on our list is RFox Vault. This is a project that has come, from a company that has a couple of things going on in crypto gaming, but this is their big venture right now. And RFox Vault is an e-commerce focused metaverse, a commerce focused metaverse, but also a game focused metaverse too, where you can go in, you'll be able to have shops, and you can have your own, apartments and penthouses. The cool thing about this and what they're kind of doing and what they've integrated, which I haven't seen in any other metaverse yet, is they actually have AI assisted creation. So you can literally just type things and change your entire space, look and feel using AI. That's actually pretty cool. I think we're going to see more and more AI being used in metaverses like this, but RFox is one of the first ones that we're really seeing this power built in. I have a video that I did about them here not too long ago. You can find that here on my channel. I'm going to go B with RFox Vault. Whereas the metaverse itself is not super impressive, I love the AI features they're building, and I do think there is an angle there. If they can really push that, and possibly the e-commerce element with game incorporation, there could be something that people want to come and stay in RFox Vault for. So I think that the more AI we see, the better for them, and this could be something that other platforms pick up from them and then implement, and they fall by the wayside as well. There is that potential there. All right, a big one. Everybody knows, everybody loves Roblox, right? This is one of the OG, what I would consider OG metaverse platforms, right? When you talk about user-generated content and what a metaverse really is, Roblox embodies almost every one of those aspects. Up until now, Fortnite was definitely, not a notch behind when it came to metaverse, right? But now that they have that creator, I think I put them on the same plane as Roblox. Roblox is one of the G's when it comes to being a metaverse. Now, it may not be as nice looking as Fortnite or some of the other ones here on this list, but it has the player base, and that's super important if you want a metaverse that is going to be lively and creative and different and fun. And Roblox is no short of that. They have tons of crazy weird games in there that definitely attract a younger generation. And these are the people, these are the kids, these are the soon to be adults that will be doing everything in the metaverse as they get older, right? Whether that's a job or recreation, they're the ones that are going to be using this stuff. So I think that Roblox definitely goes S tier for me. They are one of the top metaverses out there, hands down. All right, next up on our list is the Sandbox. So the Sandbox is a voxel-based world, but with a lot more polish, right? So when you kind of compare it to like a Minecraft, it definitely looks nicer. It has a lot more cleaner edges to it, but it is still voxel-based, and they have done a great job with being the #1 cryptocurrency NFT-based metaverse out there. They have amazing partnerships with people like Snoop Dogg, The Walking Dead, Gucci, the Smurfs, Care Bears. Avenged Sevenfold. The list goes on and on and on. They've done a great job with onboarding partners here and then getting people to create things in their metaverse. And that's not an easy thing to do. Now, they don't have a ton of daily active users because the game is still in beta, but it is playable every day. You can go in, you can build, you can create, you can play other people's creations. That goes well farther than a lot of these on the list that are still kind of in a development state that you cannot play. Now, because of the partnership, because of the backing that the Sandbox has, their war chests, and everything they're doing, I definitely am going to have to put the Sandbox on A tier. Now, it's not going full S tier because it's not fully launched yet, which means not everybody has access to put their experiences live in a way that is well promoted, but we are getting there, and we will get there by the end of this year. But I'm going A tier with the Sandbox, as it is one of the easiest crypto metaverses to get going in. You don't need to know anything about blockchain, which is amazing, and that's how it should be. You shouldn't be gated. You shouldn't be confused by getting into any of these metaverses because they have crypto. Okay. Second Life. This is the G. This is the OG. When I say some of these other ones have been around, Roblox has been around for a while, but Second Life has literally defined the genre of metaverse. You cannot talk about metaverses without talking about Second Life. That is not in question. By far, they have done the most to push this concept, and there have been people playing Second Life for so long that people just forget how amazing it is and how many people are there and how many people are dedicated to this metaverse game. It in every way, it does exactly what you want for a metaverse. Now, they may not have as big of partnerships as Facebook and, as Fortnite and Roblox or Facebook Meta, but they are still pushing and they have a very dedicated community. I got to go S tier with Second Life, man. They literally paved the way. Now, like I said, they don't maybe have as many users as some of these other ones right now, but they have paved the way for the metaverse to be a viable concept. Next on my list is Somnium Space. This is also a crypto-based NFT metaverse, but the cool thing about this is it is VR focused. Whereas many of these other metaverses are not VR focused, the Sandbox is not, Decentraland is not. A couple of these are Fox Vault VR focused, right? A couple of these are very VR focused. Somnium Space is all about VR. So they are the VR crypto platform. So if you're talking about where do they rank on this list? Well, I think that they have some good things going for them. They are a smaller team. They haven't made a lot of waves. They haven't done as much when it comes to partnerships. But I do think that with a new VR headset coming from Apple, we may see a bump in all VR metaverses, right? And that only means, not only the activity in these metaverses, but possibly the tokens or stocks that are associated with any of these metaverses, even though they're not Apple. So a big hype around a brand new headset like that could bring a lot of, money and velocity towards these metaverse projects. All right, we're winding down here with a couple more crypto projects that are still here and trying to make their metaverses work. The next one on my list is Starl. Starl is a space-focused metaverse, and in comparison to all these other ones, whereas they haven't, got a lot of attention, garnered a lot of attention, or a lot of user base, they do have a playable browser-based version, and you can go in and kind of start testing some of these things out. Now, it is smaller, and I don't know if they're going to really be able to, garner the player base they need for this in the long term, but I do like what they're doing, and they are playable, and they have been pushing regular updates. They've even ported over to the latest UE 5.1.1, and they're staying ahead of that curve, and because of that, I'm going to have to at least put them in the C tier. TCG World. This is a massive, massive metaverse, and it is crypto NFT based. They've sold lands, they've sold NFTs. What they boast is the largest metaverse out there with so many kilometers of space. And this world, it kind of embodies the crazy mashup that a lot of people envision when they talk about the metaverse or interoperability. Literally, you could be in this world and you could be driving a Lambo out in the desert while someone is flying a dragon overhead. They have kind of mashed a bunch of things up here, but the graphics and look of this world have not really panned out. It doesn't really have much going for it. We've reviewed it a little bit here in the past, but I really do not see this making it very far here in the future. I'm going to have to go wrecked with TCG World. They've had to upgrade their token here a couple of times, and in general, I don't think the team has what it takes to be a defining metaverse when it comes to all the rest of the competition we're seeing on this list. All right, last but not least here on my list with the big W. No, it's not the West Side Connect. It is Wilder World. And Wilder World is yet another VR-focused, crypto-based metaverse who have been working on their metaverse here for a little bit of while. It's been a little over a year. They've sold tokens. They've sold a couple other NFTs. It's very focused on the driving aspect, which I actually like. I think it's a good place to kind of start for a metaverse. And they've done some other things like selling NFT kicks and a couple other stuff like that and avatars. But I do love the fact that they are VR focused. They are working on a very hyper-realistic type of world. I don't know how well they're going to compete against some of these others, but I'm actually going to have to put them in the B tier. They've done a good job with some of their NFTs. I think that when it comes to competition here, they're at least on par with everybody else in the B tier. Everybody else in the B tier has a shot, but I wouldn't guarantee it. Right? I wouldn't guarantee it at all. I think everything A and S tier above could be something that are going to be usable by a large player base here over the next few years as the concept of metaverse starts to pick up. All right, so there we go. That is over 20 of the top metaverses out there, whether they're crypto, whether they're not crypto. These are all ranked from S tier to wrecked. Let me know what you think about my rankings here. If there's a metaverse I missed that you think is great, or if maybe your favorite metaverse is wrecked and you didn't like it, I want to hear in the comments below. I'm interested to see how this Apple headset is going to change this list after it launches. And maybe we're all going to be living and working in the metaverse here pretty soon. But until then, that's all we have for today, agents. As always, this briefing never happened. Secret Agent Stash, over and out.
Secret Agent Stash. Secret Agent Stash.